Yo, what's up guys? Patrick here. Welcome back. Moving on to the next question. So if f of x equals x over x plus 3 and h cannot equal 0, then find a simplified expression for f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. So this is going to be some practice using function notation, and then there's going to be a lot of algebra as well. So notice that if f of x equals x over x plus 3, then notice f of anything that we plug in here. Whatever's here, we would just plug in for the x. And notice that for this expression that we're going to have to simplify, we have this x plus h. So on the side here, actually let's do it over here. What would f of x plus h be if f of x is this? Well, we would just plug in x plus h for the x. So we would end up with x plus h over x plus h plus 3. Right? We plugged in this x plus h for this x, and then this x plus h for this x up top. Right? And then this here, at this point we can't further simplify because there's no like terms in the numerator or denominator to simplify. And so what we can do, if we take this expression and we start writing it over here, f of x plus h is this. So we would have x plus h over x plus h plus 3. And then we're going to be subtracting f of x, which is just this. And then all of that is going to be all over h. All right, so this, the next line for simplifying that is over here. And to simplify this, what we're going to have to do is we're actually going to have to take these two fractions in the numerator. So notice we have a numerator and we have a denominator, and then we have fractions within this big numerator here. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to take these two fractions, make them into one. And to do that, we need a common denominator. Notice x plus h plus 3, x plus 3, those are different factors. So we'd have to multiply this by x plus 3, and then the top by x plus 3. And then we'd have to multiply this x plus 3 by this factor, x plus h plus 3, and then this would be x plus h plus 3. Like that. So what this would simplify to, the numerator, is x plus h times x plus 3 minus x times x plus h plus 3. And this will be all over x plus h plus 3 times x plus 3. Like that. Right, so those two fractions that were there before, it's equal to that. It's the same thing. And remember, we still got this h at the bottom. And notice that we're dividing by h over 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to rewrite this. Instead of dividing all of this by h over 1, it's like multiplying it by 1 over h. You can keep the h at the bottom if you want, but I'm just going to put the 1 over h here. It's going to save more room on the whiteboard. And then eventually what's going to happen is we're going to be able to factor out an h at the top, and so the h's would cancel out. That's what we're trying to do here. So to simplify this numerator, what we got to do is we got to expand everything. Right? So just be careful with your algebra here. So we'll have x squared plus 3x plus hx plus 3h. I think that simplifies smoothly, or expands smoothly. Yeah, so we're all good there. So these two brackets FOIL out to this, and then this negative x we would distribute. So we'd have minus x squared minus xh minus 3x, like that. And that's going to be all over x plus h plus 3 times x plus 3. And then all of this we're going to multiply still by the 1 over h. And now what we do is we simplify the numerator, collect all the like terms. And notice that there's actually going to be a bunch of stuff that cancels out. This x squared cancel out. Notice that the 3x minus 3x cancel out. And then we have the hx, and then the xh. Oh, I kind of, they're the same thing. Doesn't matter which way you multiply them. You could write hx or you could write xh, but those are the same thing. So those would cancel out as well. And so notice that we're just left with a 3h at the top. So what we would end up with, let's block this off, we would end up with 3h over x plus h plus 3 times x plus 3, and that would be multiplied by 1 over h, like that. And then notice this h cancel out, so we're left with 3 over x plus h plus 3 times x plus 3. And notice this we can't simplify any further. H is not equaling 0, we're not plugging in 0 for h, so this here would be the final simplified expression. This expression here simplified for that function.